Hey guys, it's Stu. Just thought I'd do another inbox review, this time of a very iconic aircraft from the Cold War, the English Electric Lightning. I have to say, it's one of my favourite aircraft of the Cold War period in the Air Force inventory. Fantastic aircraft. Easily outmanoeuvred most aircraft before it retired. In fact, it outmanoeuvred most F-15 Eagles. Solid design. They used to call it 30 tons of thunder. And I think that was enhanced by when my dad used to tell me he saw around about 12 of these scrambled off of Farnborough's runway. Your chest was vibrating and your ears were just totally shattered with the reheat. So, and the noise. But last time I remember seeing this was at Greenham Common as a little nipper in 1977. It put on a fantastic display. The rate of climb was astounding, and yeah, it was certainly a noisy aircraft, but a beautiful one at that. And it's a shame that we don't have any remain flying in this country. I mean, the only place you can see them flying in the skies now is out in South Africa. But there are still a few ground running at Bruntingthorpe. They tend to sort of do fast taxi runs down the runway. So if you want to see a genuine Lightning, although it's not flying, go to Bruntingthorpe. This aircraft, actually, as I said, was saved from the 1957 white paper defence cuts. It was one of the last independent designs to be saved, and the last manual aircraft that was built independently before all the aircraft companies merged to become BAC. It first entered service in 1960 and soldiered on right up until 1988 when the last squadrons were disbanded at RAF Binbrook. It's still an aircraft that, to me, looks way ahead of its time. Even just the look of it, it just shows you sheer speed. As I say, it's not only my favourite, but many people's as well. The kit itself is a limited run issue, and as I say, I've got this one from Nikki at Veterans Kits at a very extremely good rate. So thank you for getting that through for me so promptly, Nikki. It's, having looked at it, it's not a bad kit for a limited edition release. I do feel it could do with a little bit of aftermarket to boost the cockpit up a little bit more. And the red top streak missiles, little bit of a disappointment, but if you can get some aftermarket, I'm sure, and do a little bit of work on them, I'm sure they come up well. The box art illustration is depicting an aircraft of a squadron called the Firebrands. Well, that was their display name. They were a display team for about 1 year. Airfix depict this colour scheme in their single-seater F1. This is the twin-seat version, T4. And as I say, it's not a bad kit. I love the box art illustration. It just shows you the true lines of this iconic aircraft. And I just love the colour scheme, although there are two alternatives in it. If you want to get hold of this kit, the kit number is SW808. That's SW8008. Sorry, I got that wrong first time. My apologies. On the side of the box, you've got some instructions on the kit itself in 4 languages. And on the end here is the box art illustration with the sword image, etc. It's quite a nice sturdy box. Ooh, crikey, just knocking the lamp there. And as I say, we'll look at the instruction sheet first off. Let's just put the box down over here a minute. And again, you've got the box art illustration on the top there, along with the history of the aircraft at the front. Okay. First stage, again, is per the norm. You've got your map of your sprue trees, as you can see here, of all the parts to your kit. Okay, and then you've got colour call out here, but sadly it doesn't refer to any brand, so unfortunately you're going to have to do your research on that, guys. Okay. First stage of construction, as you can see, is obviously the cockpit with the floor, the control yokes and the back of the cockpit. And then you've got the air intake with the nose and the engine at the back there. And then you've got the colour guide to the control panel itself, which I have to say is quite impressive. And then obviously you put the control column in, and this is your to the control floor of the cockpit. Add the side columns on, button up the fuselage and put the air intake in, okay, along with the ring on the front of the nose. Next stage of construction is the engines. You've got a little bit of detail for the back of the actual exhausts, and then that's added onto the resin part of the air exhausts, as you can see there, or the jet nozzles. You add the airspeed indicator to the side of the left side of the fuselage, and then it's onto the construction of the wings, which you see here. And then you've got a colour guide to one of two resin seats down here. Okay. Then you basically add the wings to the fuselage, tailplanes to the fuselage, tailplane itself, and then the engines or the exhaust nozzles to the back of the actual fuselage. And this is how the wing dihedral should be sitting. Okay. Next thing to do is add the air intakes to the back of the aircraft near the tailplane. Obviously construct all the fuselage, the nose wheel and the main undercarriage as well. Add the main undercarriage to the wings, as you can see here, along with the bay doors. That's how they should be sitting once constructed. Then add the nose wheel along with the gear bay doors, along with the pitot tube to the bottom of the fuselage. And add more air inlets and airspeed indicators to the side of the fuselage. Okay. And then add the refueling probe to the bottom of the aircraft, to the side, I think it's the left side of the fuselage. Then add the rear straight to the bottom of the fuselage at the rear end. And then you construct your fire streak missiles, as you can see there. Add your canopy. You can either have it closed or open with the main push rod, which you add to the back of the cockpit. And then I think that's added to the back of the actual hood, as it were. Add your resin seats to the interior of the aircraft, along with the frontal part of the control column there. And then the next stage, I think the final stage, is you add your weapons carriers along with fire streak missiles to the fuselage. Okay. Now your colour call-outs. The first colour scheme is of the T4 of number 56 Squadron, based at Watersham in 1963. Now this is the one I think I'm going to go with, because I think it's a lovely colour scheme and just shows you the very high-speed sleek lines of this iconic aircraft. And the alternative colour scheme is obviously the camouflage version with overall dark green on the top upper surfaces, with silver undersides again at the bottom. And that's of a version based at number 92 Squadron, based in Germany at RF Gütersloh in 1976. Okay, right, let's get on to the main part of the kit. The first part, which I'm going to show you, is the actual decal sheet itself. It's quite a big decal sheet. Again, you've got the two alternative squadrons, 92 and 56. Lovely decals, a little bit on the shiny side. You've got loads of stencils, so that's going to keep me busy, especially these. So yeah, lovely decals, and they're made by Technod, who actually do aftermarket decals for tanks and armoured vehicles. Right, put that in the instruction sheet so I don't lose it. And like the Ferry Gannet, AEW Gannet I reviewed some time ago, Sword have actually got a resealable bag for all your sprues, which you can see here. It all comes in one bag. It's quite thick plastic, and on the first sprue you've got the fuselage halves. Again, you've got some really nice panel detail, recessed panel detail, which I think, oops, sorry, I've knocked the camera in, is beautifully reproduced, which you can see here, but unfortunately the plastic is rather shiny, so you might have a bit of a job to see that. So I'll just see if you can see that there, and even underneath with the belly tank, lovely detail. You've got your nose here, and there's your engine with the blades as well. And there's the two halves of your air inlet valve at the front there. The only thing that I'm disappointed with is you've got injection mold marks right there. Oh, nightmare. And even on the interior of these. That's going to be a bugger to bloody sand down, I can tell you. But the lovely thing I like is the actual control panel itself. That's got some really good detail on that. So with a good dry brush, that'll really show up well. Another disappointing thing is the wheels are rounded. There's no indication of weight on them. So I may well see if I can source some resin aftermarket ones. And again, on the nose wheel, they're both in two halves. So that's going to be a nightmare with the seam on the sides. Undercarriage bay, not bad. And then obviously you've got your nose ring at the top here. Okay. Again, the back wall for the cockpit, not bad. Could do with a little bit of extra detail. Floor's quite basic, as you can see there. Internal detail, not a lot. But what there is pretty good. I'll show you the other side as well. The sidewall detail, which you can see, I think, just about there. Can you see that, guys? There you go. So that's the first sprue. You've only actually got 3 sprues. Second sprue, you've got the weapons load carriers and strakes for the fast retreat missiles. Again, nice recessed detail, panel detail on here. Again, with the lower part of the wing, nice recessed panel lines, as you can see there. Upper part of the wing, again, nice recessed panel detail there. Very light though, compared to Airfix's. And then you got the rear engine deck where the exhaust nozzles are. That's a nice touch, I have to say. Okay. Again, we've got the nightmare with the gear bay doors. You've got the injection mold plugs in there. Nightmare. But there you go. I'll just have to sand them down. Internal detail on the gear bay doors and the wings, not bad. Probably do a little bit extra work on it. All the same, pretty good for a limited edition kit. Tailplane. Again, nice detail, but for some reason you've got the tailplane for the T5 on here. Why they've done that, I don't know. Again, you got the undercarriage bay doors. Possibly put a little wire on there, just add it a little bit more detail for the brake leads. And there's your tailplanes. Again, quite nice recessed panel lines there. What's this? Not quite sure. Oh yeah, there's your elevators for your wings as well. Pretty nice. These are the fast retreat missiles. Yeah, a little bit of a letdown, I have to say. I might see if I can get some aftermarket for them. If not, I might have to do some scratch building on them. Yeah, and then you've got some later ones here, which is for your later T4 variant. The rear, I'm going to have to drill out just to give it a little bit more realism, I think. Yeah, they're a bit of a letdown, but there you go. The nicest part of the kit, and I do like this, and they both come in resin, is your seats. I'll show you one. Look at the detail in that, guys. Absolutely superb. Beautifully caught. They've even got the seat belts on there as well. Admittedly, with the pull lead or for the ejector seat, you might have to use a bit of sprue and bend that, but overall, very impressive, I have to say. Very nicely done. And again with the jet nozzles, the exhaust nozzles, they come in resin as well. Beautifully done. Really capture the shape and well, yeah, no, the shape of those familiar jet nozzles that were so iconic, one on top of the other with the lightning. So yeah, that'll look impressive, that really will. So that is the bonus part of the kit. Oh god, drop the damn thing now. What am I like? Yeah, quite impressed, I have to say. Not a lot in the kit itself. The final thing I will show you is obviously the cockpit canopy. I'll just pop this back in the bag, just reseal it. There we go, that's that done. And I'll pop that back in the main bag. Here we go, is the cockpit. Again, this is good. I'm glad they've done that, because the last thing you want is a scratched canopy. Let's open it up and show you. Look at it. Nice and clear, beautifully made, and easily you can easily mask those, and it will show a lot of the detail in the cockpit. It really will look good. I might have it with the actual canopy open, but all the same, beautifully made. And that is basically the Sword 1/48 Lightning T4. What do I think of the kit? Yeah, it's a lovely kit. Could do with a bit of work on the cockpit with some aftermarket, and especially those fire streaks. May have to do a little bit of scratch building, or see if I can get an upgrade kit for those. Or better still, some resin. The wheels, I think I'm going to look out for some resin weighted ones, just to accentuate the weight of the aircraft, because I mean it was known as 30 tons of thunder, and it's one aircraft I've been thinking about getting in my stash for a while, and plus the fact it's a T2 is a bonus, and that you haven't got to get a conversion set to basically I'm trying to see if I can set this bag up. No, I can't. I'll just get the instruction sheet in there as well. But I'm sure it built into a beautiful kit. But I just think it just needs that added detail just to boost it up a little bit. But for a limited edition kit, it's a damn good one, I have to say. So hats off to Sword for bringing out this particular version of the Lightning in 1/48. I mean, if you're a big Lightning fan, this will be a bonus to you. It also comes in the T5, so I've heard. I haven't actually got that. Might get that sometime in the future. Possibly the Airfix F1 as well. But I love the colour scheme. The kit is not bad. It's good for a limited edition kit. The detail isn't bad. But I wouldn't put it up with Airfixes, to be honest with you. But all the same, if you're a big Lightning fan, definitely get one of these. I'm sure it's going to build into a beauty, but I just feel it could do with some aftermarket just to boost it up a little bit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you do, leave your comments or subscribe. And until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.